What is going on, everyone? Adam Allard here with Pragmatic Ways, continuing on with our Java programming course. So in the previous video, we installed Eclipse, this IDE, this integrated development environment, and we sort of seen some of the benefits that it has over writing our applications inside something like a basic notepad editor, right? So we've seen some of the benefits. Let's dive into a little bit more of some of the cool things that Eclipse can do and a little bit of the sort of grammar rules of programming. And when I say grammar rules, what I really mean is the syntax of programming in Java. And syntax, like I said, is really just the grammar rules, kind of like the spelling rules. Like we saw in the previous example when I deleted this semicolon here. And actually, let me make this a little bit bigger for you all to see. There we go. Nice and big for y'all to see now. All right, so previously in the previous video, when I deleted the semicolon right here, I got some sort of syntax error, right? And that's saying syntax error, insert the semicolon to complete the block statement. That's basically saying, hey, dummy, you forgot your punctuation there. You know, that's sort of the grammar rules, right? So there's just a few sort of grammar rules and also style rules, formatting rules on how to make our code look pretty. All right, so let me first start with a few basic syntax rules. And the first one I want to get into is the opening and closing curly brace. So we see right here we have our public class and then our class name. And then at the end of the class name, we have this open curly brace right here, which looks like that. And when I put my cursor at the end of that curly brace, we can notice down here on line 7 that this closing curly brace is kind of there's a little box around it. And basically what that means is that this open curly brace matches this closing curly brace right here. And everything in between these curly braces is inside of this class right here. And this class name is called My First Program. So every Java program needs to have a class, one or more classes. Okay, and each class has to have the class name that matches exactly the file name itself. So this class name is My First Program, and notice capitalization matters in Java. So the M on my is capitalized, the F is capitalized, and the P is capitalized. And then same thing, the M here is capitalized, the F is capitalized, and the P is capitalized. If I were to change one of them, it would actually throw an error because now it's saying that the class name must be in its own file, and this class name does not match the file name, so that's why it's throwing an error there. That's another sort of syntax, basic rule within Java. Another rule in Java is that every program must have a main method, and that's what we see right here. We have a couple keywords that we're not going to get into yet. I promise we'll get into them in future videos, but right now, just for beginning out, every Java program essentially starts at the main method, and that's what this is here. And then we can see that this main method also has an opening and closing bracket. And then again, everything in between the opening and closing curly brace, rather not bracket, sorry, curly brace. Everything in between the opening and closing curly brace is considered to be inside of this main method here. And then similarly, there's opening and closing parentheses. So if I see I have my opening parenthesis here, and then my closing parentheses here, and then again, everything inside of these opening and closing parentheses is inside of this method here. So now I'm starting to get a little bit deeper, but we'll explain a little bit more what that means later on down the road. But you can kind of see the pattern here, where if I have an opening parentheses or an opening bracket or an opening curly brace, I'm going to have a corresponding closing parentheses or closing square bracket or closing curly brace, okay? So that's another sort of basic syntax rule within the Java programming language. Now I want to focus, and one more thing is that all programming statements in Java need to end in a semicolon. So notice how these don't end in a semicolon because this is a class declaration, and then this is a function or a method declaration. So this isn't an actual programming statement, but this one right here, we're saying system.out.println. This is an actual programming statement, and it's actually the only statement in this program here. So that's why, like I said, every programming statement in Java needs to end with a semicolon. And we've already seen before the syntax error that will happen if we forget to put that semicolon in there. All right, so now I want to focus our attention to formatting. And what formatting means is basically just the look and feel of your program. So we can see I have sort of a tab here or like a couple spaces. Right here I have a blank empty line. Right here I have a couple more spaces, and then there's a blank line right up here. Honestly, none of these are really needed. I could take out almost all of these essentially, and I could make this just pretty much all on one line here. And now this program runs the exact same way. I'll press Control Save right now, Control S, and then I'm going to do Control F11 to run this program. And we can see this program still runs, but obviously we can see how hard this is to sort of read, right? It's not as easy to read anymore. It's very difficult to read, actually. So I'm going to undo all those changes, and I want to sort of explain a little bit on good conventional formatting inside Java. And actually, let's say I take out those spaces again. If I'm right here at the end of a opening curly brace, I can just press the Enter key, and Eclipse is going to automatically format it to where it thinks the next line should be here. And this might be confusing. I'll explain it a little bit better in a minute here. Okay. So that actually didn't do it as good as I thought it would. Let me go up here. I'm gonna let Eclipse automatically format the entire file for me now. And to do that, I'm gonna go up to the source menu option here, and I'm going to go to Format Code. And notice again, I love the shortcut keys for everything. If there's a keyboard shortcut key to do something, I'm probably going to try my best to memorize it and always use that instead. So from now on, to format my code, I'm going to press the Control, Shift, and F key. Okay. So I'll do Control, Shift, F. And notice what that did there. It automatically moved these brackets over to the side here. So let's say I take out all of these and I put everything left justified here, and I do Control Save again, and I'm going to automatically format again by pressing again Control Shift and F. And we can see what Java wants to do, what Eclipse rather wants our Java program to actually look like, how it thinks that our Java program should be formatted. And the way that is that everything inside of a pair of open brackets should be indented. And this is indented by one tab. If I delete that, it'll just go one tab over. And then again, I have another set of opening and closing parentheses, and then this will have two tabs then. So it's sort of just a structure hierarchy like that, where everything's just sort of indented, and that way it's very easy and quick to see what is inside of what. I can see that this main method is now inside of this my program class because it's indented by one tab. And then this programming statement is inside of this main method because, again, it's indented by another tab. So it just makes it a lot easier to visually see what code goes where, okay? So that's what formatting is. And then, again, inside Eclipse, we can press the Control-Shift-F to automatically format for us. But we're actually going to take it one step further because formatting is such a huge thing that, unfortunately, it's such a big thing. Such an important thing, but a lot of newer programmers don't really give formatting the attention that it needs, and it kind of becomes an afterthought. So programming is hard enough to learn as it is. So let's take that, oh, did I format my code, did I not? Let's take that responsibility off of your shoulders, and we're going to let, again, Eclipse do this automatically for us. So to do that, we're going to go to Window, and then Preferences, and then we are going to go to the Java. We're going to open that up. And then we're going to go to Editor, and we're going to open that up. And then we're going to go to Save Actions, and we're going to click on that. And then I'm going to check the box for Perform the selected actions on Save. And then I'm going to click on Format Source Code, and then make sure that Format All Lines is selected. And then I'm just going to apply first I'll just do apply. Make sure those changes save. And basically what this means is that anytime I save my program or save my file or anything else by pressing Control S to automatically save it, Eclipse is automatically going to format my code for me, which becomes very helpful that you don't have to always try and remember to make your indentation perfectly or anything else, or remember to press the Control-Shift-F. Eclipse is just automatically going to format your code for you by doing this. So I'm going to press Apply and Close now, and we're going to see actually what this looks like. So now I'm going to just go down here, And remember, beforehand, I pressed Control Save, and then I did a Control Shift F to format it. Now, this time, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to press Control S to save it. And once I save it, we will see that, Control S, there we go, Eclipse automatically formatted my code for me. So I really hope you get into that habit of just making your editor automatically format your code, because it is going to be such a big lifesaver as your programs get a lot bigger and there's a lot more methods and functions and classes, and everything kind of starts getting jumbled together when you don't format it and make it look pretty. So again, it's all about taking that responsibility off of your shoulders and just let Eclipse automatically format your code for you. Alright, so this video went a little bit longer than I wanted. I'm going to cut it off here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.